Hi everyone, welcome to a slow and low hip opening practice. We're going to take it easy, we're not going to move too fast, and we're going to touch in to the whole joint circumference of the hip. You'll need 2 blocks if you have them. If you don't, that's okay. Pillows work great. Grab yourself a couple pillows and a belt or a strap. These are the things we'll need for practice. We'll start lying down, right away getting into our first hip opener. Pillows work great. Soles of the feet together, knees wide, and you can place pillows or blocks underneath your thighs. If you don't have any of those tools, you can actually just make a fist or use your hands to support the outer leg as you're in this hip opening position. I'm going to use pillows. Organize so the soles of the feet are together. You feel your heels connected, and then place your hands on your belly. Lengthen your tailbone a little bit and get your shoulder blades on your back, so closer to the spine and away from your head. And you're resting at the base of the skull, so the back of the neck is long. For most of us, this is already a fair amount of sensation, and that's the point, right? We're going to create these shapes, we're going to feel stuff, and then we learn to regulate our breathing, which is just a self-regulating practice. So start to smooth out your breath. Let an exhale or two release out of an open mouth. Keep doing that and just notice as you exhale, it's an opportunity to ungrip somewhere. Relax your jaw. Relax all the muscles of your face. Let the shoulders release down. Take one more breath. Release through your mouth. Slide your hands underneath your thighs and help the knees together. Move your props. From here, right thigh crosses over the left, so the legs are crossed all the way. Draw the knees in towards your chest, and you'll clasp your hands around the legs. Nice and easy, right? Let the shoulders stay heavy. Rock a little bit side to side. So now we're getting into the outer back compartment of the hip. Notice if you're sort of pushing your low back down to get your knees closer to your chest. Instead, can you feel the low back lift a little? It's okay if it's still touching the floor. Feeling the low back lift a little keeps your pelvis in a neutral position, creating a more true hip joint release. So you're not using your pelvis to bring the legs closer to you. You're not borrowing range of motion from the pelvis. You're keeping it neutral, and you're getting into the back part of the hip. Bring the feet back down, uncross the legs. Switch sides, left leg crosses on top. Hug the knees in. Keep your sacrum pressing down. Tailbone is lengthening down a little bit. Keep the shoulders heavy and your jaw released. Smoothing out your breath with whatever sensations are present. Most likely it's going to be that outer left hip. You're feeling stuff. Go there with your attention and with your breath as a way to soften and release. Release out of that. The feet come back down. Take the feet about as wide as your mat, keeping the knees bent. The arms can go out wide. Slowly let the knees drop to the left. Flex your ankles. And then knees to the right. Do this a couple times. These are called windshield wipers. Just feeling the feeling of rotating the thighs internally and externally. How does this feel in the hip? Spacious, sticky, tight, whatever. Just notice it will change. Come back to center. Hands on your belly. Right ankle over left knee. So figure 4. Flex the right ankle with your right hand. Guide the inner thigh tissue outward. So you're helping to externally rotate just a little bit. This might be plenty. So maybe you'll stay here. Or you'll grab a hold of your left thigh to bring it in towards you. And then maybe interlace your hands around the top of the shin, right below your knee. Relax your whole upper body. And just breathe into where you feel this. Outer right hip. Gentle rocking motion can be really nurturing. So allow yourself to do that if it feels intuitive and useful. Smoothing out your breath. And then bring the left foot back to the floor. The right leg's going to go to the sky. Grab a hold of your, whatever you got, your strap or your belt. Lasso it around the bottom of that right foot. Both hands are going to take a hold of the strap or the belt. The left foot can be on the floor, or you can extend that leg down the mat. Pull your right knee towards your right shoulder. Right elbow bends out to the side. So think like half happy baby. And then re-straighten the leg. You're just going to do this back and forth. Kind of like oiling up the hip, getting into your hamstrings and the glutes. The best you can, think of the sole of the right foot staying flush with the ceiling, so parallel to the ceiling, instead of letting the shin drop down. You might not go as far, but you'll get more out of this through the back of the leg, keeping a 90-degree angle at the knee. Couple more. Feel that there's a bit of resistance. The foot is pushing into your belt and you're also pulling. Land with the knee bent. And then you're going to take that leg out to the side. The knee can stay bent. Back of the right arm on the ground. You're making a kickstand. Pull on the strap. Activate your right glute. Feel as if you're plugging the right thigh bone into the hip socket. Take 3 full breaths here. We'll do it together. Inhale. Exhale. Try to keep the right glute active the whole time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. Bring that leg back up to vertical. Switch your hands. Left hand's going to get the straps. Now you're just going to go about 6 inches past the midline. The right thumb, dig it into your right hip crease. Lift your head and look and see. And you're going to push the thigh bone away from you as you lower your head back down. This is a small movement. The right side of the pelvis stays on the floor. This is outer rotators, IT band. So the outer panel of that right hip and thigh. Let your face relax. Smooth out your breathing. Shoulders relaxed. One more breath. And as you exhale, continue all the way across the body. Right arm out to the right. Go ahead and let this right foot land on the floor. You can bend the knee, that's fine. So now you're in a supine twist. Because everything is connected, when we rotate the spine, it affects the tissues around the hip joint. Just trace the lines of sensation with your mind and with your breath. Notice somewhere that can soften, even as you feel big sensation in one part of the body. Where else can you relax? Take one more round of breath. Make your way back up to center. Right hand gets the straps again. Do that half baby position. Pull the knee to your shoulder. And then you'll release your strap from there. Legs down the mat, arms overhead. Just roll the thighs in and out. Wiggle into your feet and just feel the evidence that you just made space on that right side. There's energetic evidence that space has been made. Tingles, temperature, maybe that right side feels a little bit longer. Bring your hands to your belly, feet flat on the floor. Left ankle over your right knee. Whole thing second side. Left hand on the inner left thigh. Gently, you're really just like moving the tissue outward. Emphasizing external rotation. Flex the left ankle. Keep both sides of the pelvis level on the ground. You can stay here or reach and grab that right thigh so the left hand goes through that window right there. And then maybe interlace your hands around your shin. Notice if you're borrowing range of motion from your pelvis tipping back. Instead, keep your sacrum level on the ground. The low back should be light. Then you're getting right into the hip joints. Precise. Breathe into that. Flex that left foot. Let your whole upper body fall a little bit closer towards the floor. Learning to smooth and regulate our breath when we're feeling things in a big way is valuable work. I know, as always, you can rock a little bit if that feels nurturing. Release that, bring the right foot to the floor. Left leg goes up towards the ceiling. Grab a hold of your strap, bend the knee and lasso the strap around your foot. Both straps go into your left hand. The right leg goes down the mat, or you can keep the foot on the floor. Pull on the strap, elbow goes out to the side, knee towards your armpit. Move the leg away. Go back and forth. Notice if you're just kind of like going crazy. Try to go slower and infuse all those different frames from point A to point B with your awareness. So create a little resistance. You're pulling on the strap and the foot is pushing back up, keeping your jaw soft. Couple more. Land with the knee bent. With your right hand, you can pin that right hip down. Take the left leg out just to the point where you can keep your shoulders and both sides of the hips grounded. Getting into inner thigh, groins. Engage your left glute. We'll do 3 breaths together here. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Turn your leg back up to center. Right hand gets both straps. It's worth it to lift your head. Left thumb into your left hip crease. Your fingers are wrapping around the outer hip. Rotate your thigh away. Bring the head back down. Cross midline, maybe 6 inches. That's really about all you need. And then, blah, relax your mouth. Breathe into all that sensation. The eyeballs are soft. The skin around the eyes are soft. One more breath. And then continue all the way. Left foot maybe lands on the floor. You might scoot the bottom leg back a little. Left arm out to the left. Supine twist. Notice how the rotation of your spine travels sensationally down across that outer right hip and into your low back, left hip rather. You might get a lower back adjustment or somewhere along your spine. That's great. Two more cycles of breath. And make your way back up to center. Switch your hands again. Half happy baby. Engage the glutes. Move the strap. Legs down the mat. Arms overhead. Roll the thighs in and out. Just feel that echo. Energetic echo that you've made some space. And then hug the knees into your chest. Hands behind the thighs, rock up to your seat. Make your way around to all fours. Tabletop. So look and see that the hips are above your knees and that your shoulders are above your wrists. Because we're going to do a few down dogs and weight bear on our hands, it's worth it just to get the hands ready for that a little bit. Start to shift your weight from one hand to the other and then feel like you're pawing at the ground, like you're trying to grab it. Starting to heat up the little structures of the hands. So the hand that's in the air now, open and close really quick. Open and close, and you're just switching. Actively push the floor away with the hand that's in contact with the ground, and then quickly open and close the other hand. A couple more. Then land here. Turn the fingers around to face towards your knees the best you can. Elbows bent a little bit. Then you're going to cat that. Round your spine. Release your head fully, tucking the chin. Sway the hips a little bit side to side. Trying to free up the tissue around your low back and the outer hips. And we get the added benefit of wrist releasing and getting into our forearms. Grab the floor with your fingers. Come back to center. Tuck your toes under, as many as you can from here. You're going to send your hips back to your heels. Walk your hands back towards your knees. And you're going to peel the heel of your hands off the floor. Keep your knuckles down for a moment. And then the fingers are going to come up. You're going to place the back of your hands on the ground. Fingers point towards each other. Open and close your hands. Wiggle your fingers. As we get into the bottoms of the feet, that tissue is connected all the way up the back line of the body. So obviously, freeing up the bottoms of the feet has an effect on the hip joints. And bring the hands back down. Come forward. Point your toes. Tap the feet a little bit. And then move the pelvis side to side with a little bit of a rounded spine. So really getting into the outer hip and thigh. External rotators and IT band. Really any movement here that feels good with your spine. Rounded, back bend a little bit, go back and forth. Circles. Child's pose. Big toes together. Take your knees wide. Palms turn up. Forehead comes down. Take a couple breaths here, tuning into sensation. There's that little pocket right there where you can hear your breath, tuning into that. Take a big breath down into your hips. Release through your mouth. Palms down. Come on up to all fours. Tuck your toes and lift the hips, down dog. Stretching the back of the legs. Press your thighs on your shins back. You can bend the knees as much as you like to keep your spine long. Sway. Push your hands firmly into the floor. Keep your arms strong. And then travel that energy all the way up into your core, back into your legs. And come back to center. Step your right foot around your right hand. Lower the left knee. The knee is back behind the hip. So coming into a lizard variation. You can bring your hands to blocks, right? You can stay here. You can bring your forearms to block. You can also come all the way down if you have the space. I'm going to use a block. Feels good. Can release your head and then actively push the right foot down and pull it towards your left knee. And pull the left knee a little bit towards the right foot. So there's a muscular engagement around the right hip. And there's a lift in the low left belly, freeing up the front of the left hip and thigh. Relax your jaws. 2 more breaths. Come back to your hands and move the block out of the way. Pull your hips back to straighten the front leg. So the hands are inside of your right leg. The top of the left foot presses down and your left hip is over your left knee. Good. So your front leg is out at an angle. It gets into different lines of tissue along the back of the leg. Flex your foot so the toes point up. Turn the foot out and then turn it in. Do that a few times. Roll it out and roll it in. The foot is projecting what's happening at the joint. Internal and external rotation. And then land with the toes pointing straight up. Pull your low belly back. Lean in a little bit. Relax your head. You can use block here, okay? Breathing with this. As it is, you're not over-efforting, and you're also not checking out. You're just right with your circumstances as they are. Press the top of the left foot down a little bit and see if you can free up your low back and lead forward through the heart. Energetically, you're plugging the right thigh bone back into the hip socket. Move your block. Rebend the front knee, the hips come down. Good. Tuck the back toes, lift the knees, step back, down dog. Pedal out the feet, bending one knee and then the other. Keep pushing into your hands and feel that energy travel up the arms, keeping a lift in the belly and the pelvis lifting. Cool. Second side. Left foot steps a little bit wide. Right knee comes down. Top of the right foot down, or toes tucked under, that's fine. Grab a block. So you can stay here, up on your hands, or come down to your forearms. Press the left foot down, pull it back towards your right knee, and then the right knee drags forward a tiny bit. So instead of just trying to go as far as you can to the floor and sort of dumping, there's a pulling in. like a scissoring of the hips. And then release your head, tuning into the breath. For this variation, you're keeping that left big toe and the heel pressing down. Engage your right glutes. Feel the low right belly tissue lift as a way to release hip flexors and even down into your quadriceps. The face is soft. One more breath. And then come on up to your hands, move the block. Pull your hips back to stack over your right knee, straightening the left leg. You can bring a block under your hands just to lengthen your spine. You'll just get more out of this release through the hip. Roll the foot out, roll it in. Do that a couple times. Notice if your pelvis and your ribs and your spine are moving. Try to stabilize all those structures and just move at the joint. It'll be a smaller movement, but more precise. And then land, toes point up. The belly pulls in. The left thigh bone plugs back as the heart reaches forward from your low back, and then maybe bend the elbows a bit. You can let your head release, let your jaw release. Push the top of the right foot down. Just notice what happens when you do that. For me, when I push that down, I can release my low back a little and elongate my spine. Two more. One more big breath. Move the block if you have it. Rebend that front knee. Step back, down dog. Pedal. Move. Let the pelvis sway. And then inhale to plank. Lower your knees and come all the way to your belly. You're going to keep the chest and shoulders lifted. Point your toes and lift the legs. The hands are pressing down and pulling back. Create little swimming action with your legs. The belly is taut for 3, 2, draw the shoulder blades together and down. 1, bring the feet down, press your hips back to your heels, child's pose. Couple breaths. Downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Bring the feet a little closer together. Big toes almost touching, or touching is fine. Slide the right leg straight back with the toes pointing towards the floor. 3-leg dog. Pick up the low belly. Push through both of your heels and breathe here. Squeeze your triceps in. The right leg is lifted, but this is really about your left leg. Hug that left hip in. Push the thigh and the shin back. Breathe into all of that. Stay with it. One more breath. And then step your right foot forward between your thumbs for a low lunge. Back knee comes down. Top of the foot down. Bring your hands to your front thigh. Let your hips come forward a lot, and then we're not going to do that. Pull the front of the pelvis up and back. You're going to use your hands here. If you need to pad your knee, you can roll the mat or grab a blanket. The right hand's going to stay on your right thigh. Your left knuckles are going to go onto your left glute just to feel that it stays engaged. Push the top of your left foot down. Lift the low left belly. You can take your hand there for a moment and just feel that lift, and you're just going to breathe with that for 3, 2, 1. Release that. Hands come down. Heel toe. your right foot over to the right. That outer right leg comes down, and then you're going to slide that left knee in line with your hips. So you're in like a 90-90 position. The best you can, the right shin is parallel to the top of the mat. If it's too much, bring your heel closer to your groin. It will take off some of that intensity. Forearms come down. You can also bring your forearms to a block. This is fine. It's like a pigeon-like position here. The idea is the entire outer right leg is pressing down. And try this. Press it down, and then the right shin, pull it forward. See what that feels like energetically. And then press that whole outer right leg down and kind of drag the mat back energetically. The spine is staying long. Your head is lifted here. Do that again. Press down and forward with your right leg. Press down and back. This is an active release. You're using muscular engagement to create flexibility. One more. Press down and forward. Press it down and back. Move your block. Slide the left leg back. Step back. Downward facing dog. And move around. That same right leg, take it up. This time bend the knee. Roll the right hip on top of your left. This is kind of a counter stretch for what you just did. Let that right heel drop towards your left glute. And then push into your left foot in your hands. Pull the belly in. Engage your right glute. Big breath into that front right side. And then release, down dog. Come forward to plank, slow. Lower the knees, lower all the way down. Keep the chest lifted. Lift the legs, reach the arms back this time. Swim the legs. Circle your wrists. It's for your brain. Swim the legs, circle the wrists. Go the other way with your wrists. Land the feet, land your hands, pull, press back, child's pose. Take a breath. Downward facing dog. Feel a lift in your armpits and a lift in the belly and the ribs as you push your hands. Feet come closer together. Left leg goes straight back and just parallel to the floor. The toes are pointed down. Hug the outer hips in. Keep the low belly lifted. Breathing into the back of that right leg. Keep hugging the right hip in. Relax your face. Maybe shake out your head, right? You can be with big sensation and regulate yourself at the same time. One more. And then step forward. Lower the back knee. Low lunge. Hands on your front thigh just to stabilize, pressing your feet down. Just for comparison, let the pelvis come forward as much as you can. And then we're going to temper back out of that. So come into more of a neutral pelvis position. Right knuckles on your right glute. Feel that they're engaged. Your left hand can go to your front right hip just to feel that tissue lift and the front rim of the pelvis lift. Keep all of that, okay? Breathe in. Breathe out. 3. Breathe in. Breathe out. 2. Keep activating your glute and lifting the belly. Inhale. And exhale. 1. Hands come down. Heel toe your left foot over to the right, bringing that outer leg towards the floor. And then the right leg, 90-90 position. Right knee in line with your hip. Left knee in line with that hip. Come forward, forearms come down. You can also bring them onto a block. This is active, okay? So first just feel the best you can. Organize maybe 2 blocks, right? To where you can keep your spine long. It's important here. Heart is reaching forward. The outer left leg is pressing down. Energetically, press the leg down and push it forward. See where you feel that in your hip. Relaxing your jaw. Press down and pull back a little bit. And press down and forward. Down and back. Forward. Back. And then release. Right leg goes back. Left leg goes back. A counter stretch for what you just did. That left leg goes up. Externally rotate. So left hip on top of the right. Bend the knee and push your hands evenly. Lean into it. Feel breathing into the left thigh, the hip, the belly, the ribs, that whole left side. And then down dog. Rock forward to plank. Lower slow. Locust. You're not going crazy trying to go high. You're just lengthening and creating some tone through the back body. Swim the legs. Circle your wrists. Keep the back of your neck long. The low belly is lifting, not pushing into the floor. 3, 2, 1. Tops of the feet down. Hands in line with ribs. Pull for cobra. And then keep going up. Cat back. Child's pose. Rock your forehead and hips side to side. Downward facing dog. Right leg lifts, toes point down. Reach your arms. Step the right foot around your right hand. Lower the back knee or keep it straight. Come down to your forearms or put a block under your forearms. Roll to the pinky edge of your right foot. Drag the right foot and the left foot towards each other. Release your head, but keep the center, your belly lifting for 3, 2, 1. Lower the back knee. Come to your hands. Pull the hips back, coming into your half splits. And you're going to organize this right leg now in line with the hip. So hands frame that front leg. Top of the left foot down. Belly lifts, heart reaches forward. Pull the right toes back towards your shin. And the block is going to be helpful here. Take the block to the outside of your right shin. Both hands to the block. So you're like U-turning here with the upper body, keeping your hips hugging into the midline. Let your head release. Take a bit of a cat back, so round your spine, and keep hugging your left hip in. Breathing into the outer left hip, the low back, that whole left side. Meanwhile, your right thigh bone is pulling back just a little bit. You can play with a little bit of movement here. How can you get more into that left hip, the left side of the pelvis? Come back to center. Rebend the front knee. Heel toe the foot out to the side, coming back into that pigeon position. 90-90 position. Forearms come down. You can use the block again. And this time you're just going to come all the way down. Forehead resting on something. This is a little more passive than the previous one, but there's still a little bit of engagement through the outer right leg. It's pressing down. We'll breathe together here. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. your hands back up under your shoulders. Slide the left leg back. Downward facing dog. Right leg goes up. Open the hip, bend the knee. Lean into it a little bit. Keep your hands pushing. Downward facing dog. Left leg goes high, toes down. Reach your arms. Left foot steps forward. Back knee, no, it steps wide. Hands are inside that front foot. Toes are turned out a little bit. Keep your back leg straight or lower the knee. Come down to your forearms or stay on your hands, coming into lizard. There's the feeling like your feet are pulling towards each other, and at the same time you're releasing your head. You can roll to the pinky edge of that left foot. Engage your left glute. Steady breath. One more. Gently lower the back knee if it's lifted. Pull your hips back, half splits. Get that leg lined up, hands on either side. Block goes to the outer shin, hands on the block. You're turning, it's kind of like a side bend, but you're keeping your hips level with the front edge of your mat, and then fold. Explore. Pull the navel back, hug the right hip back, make the right side of your back full from the front. You can feel how all the tissues around the hips are connected, above and below, really. Come on back to center. Rebend the knee. Heel toe your foot off to the right. Outer left leg comes down. Bend the right knee. Slide it off to the side, 90-90 position. The forearms come down to the floor or a block. A moment to press the outer left leg down. Lengthen your spine. Then take that length to fold. Open your mouth. Exhale. We'll do 3 breaths together. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Come back up to your hands. Slide the right leg back. Step back, down dog. Float the left leg up. Left hip stacks on top of the right. Bend the knee. Push your hands. Downward facing dog. You're welcome to stay here or rock forward to plank. Knees down, lower all the way down. Locust, swim the legs, circle the wrists. Child's pose. Rock your body a couple times, side to side. Look towards the front of your mat. You're going to come all the way through onto your belly. You're going to make a pillow with your hands. Your elbows are pointed out to the side. Left knee is going to slide out to the side. So 90-degree angle at the knee, right? It's in line with your ankle and your hip. And then think of, forehead can come down. I'm just going to lift my head so as I talk. Tailbone scoops under. The low belly is lifted, so you're not swinging your butt up in the air. The best you can, try to soften your groins down. This is a release through the inner left thigh. So the adductor muscles and all the way up into the pelvic floor, really. Rest your head, relax your throat, and breathe. Feel the inner left thigh relax. Even if it's just millimeter by millimeter, exhale by exhale, a little bit of softening of that tissue there. And slide that leg back in line. Second side. Right knee comes out. Look and see that the ankle, the knee, and the hip are more or less in alignment, and that the knee isn't too far up towards your right arm. More in line with the hip is best. Wrap your glutes under just a little bit. Feel the low belly lift and the low back widen. Try to maintain that. Open your mouth, exhale. Just allowing the muscles of the inner thigh and the inner hip to let go. Two more breaths. Slide that leg back. Roll the hips side to side. You can bend your knees, windshield wiper your shin side to side. Keep the low belly lifting just a little bit if your low back feels weird. Legs long. Okay, we're going to do that one more time and add on. Left knee comes out, tailbone lengthens. So you can stay here, or this time bend the right knee. I'll invite you to keep your head rested. You'll take your right hand back maybe and grab the foot, pulling your heel towards your butt. And then here's the deal, right? Keep the top of the right hip pressing down a little bit by engaging the right glute. So you're just now weaving in a quadricep release and hip flexor release for that right hip and thigh. You're still allowing your inner left thigh to soften down. I just intuitively started to wiggle, right? If that feels good to you, do it. It's a way to release clenching. And then release right leg. Slide the left leg back in line. Rock the hips a little. And then second side. Right knee comes out. Low belly picks up just a little bit. And then bend the left knee. Reach back, grab your ankle. Keep the head relaxed. These cues, do them minimally because they create a big sensation. But think of the left hip pressing down a little bit. The left glute engages. And you keep the inner right leg soft. And breathing consciously. Any amount of softening in the face, the inner mouth and the throat. It's just a direct connection to your nervous system when you do that. Take one more full cycle of breath. And then release. Right leg comes back in line. Bend the knees, shins move. Bring your hands in line with the ribs. Pull back for cobra. And then all the way back. Slow child's pose. One more downward dog just to tie the body back together in your mind. Let your head release. Feel what you feel. Where can you lengthen? Where can you soften? You'll just walk your feet to your hands just to sit down. Hands behind the thighs. Lie down on your back. Knees bent, feet grounded. We're going to go through the shapes that we went through as we began the practice. Right ankle over your left knee. Grab a hold of your left shin, pull the knee in. So let your effort be really soft here. This is more about just observing the space that you've created through your practice. Gentle rocking from side to side with a low back that is light. Return the left foot to the floor. Grab a hold of your strap. Take it around the bottom of the right foot. Extend that leg up. Straps go into your right hand. The left leg can go down the mat. Find those half happy babies. Bending and straightening in the right knee. Just feel the space around the hip, the back of the hip especially. You can land with the knee bent or maybe start to straighten, rotate that leg out to the side. Back of the right arm is your kickstand. Knee can be straight or bent. Allow the shoulders to be equally heavy, same with the hips. Leg comes back up to center. You're going to just go all the way. Maybe pause when you move 6 inches past the midline. Feel that outer panel. And then just keep going. Right arm out to the right. Open your mouth. Exhale. Come back up to center. Right hand grabs the straps. Again, half happy baby. Release the straps. Bend the knees, feet on the floor. We're going to go second side right away. Left ankle over the right knee. Grab a hold of the right shin as the knees come in. Keep your left ankle flexed. Maybe let your eyes close. Right foot on the floor. Strap around the left foot. Extend it up to start. Right leg down the mat. Back of the neck stays long. Strap into your left hand. Pull the knee towards your armpit and then move it away. Land with the knee bent. Take your leg out to the side. Maybe play with straightening or attempting to. Keep your right hip and right shoulder grounded and relax the face as you breathe on purpose. Pull your belly button down towards the ground to bring the leg back up. Switch your hands. Go slow. Explore that side seam of the leg. And then keep going all the way. Twist. Let the left shoulder and elbow release. Maybe feel your low back and your belly release. Send the breath down low. back up to center. Left hand gets the straps, half happy baby. Move the strap. And then come to knees bent, feet flat. Feet can be a little wide. Bring your hands to the front of your hip joints. Come into a very low bridge. Push into your feet. Lift the pelvis. This is just to reintegrate the back of the legs, the muscles of the glutes, the hamstrings. Lengthen your tailbone, and then push your glutes up into your hands for 3, 2, 1. Release. Big breath in. Full breath out. Give the knees a squeeze towards the heart. And send your legs down the mat, arms by your side. Final resting posture, Shavasana, which is a pose of digestion. Digesting the energy of your practice. Feel the weight of your arms and your legs. Natural weight of your entire skeleton held by the ground. Relax your face and let the breath be free. Please feel free to push pause and stay here as long as you like. And then you can press play again and rejoin us. Take a big breath in through the nose. Open your mouth, exhale. Just to roll the thighs in and out. Wiggle your fingers and toes. And then drawing one knee at a time in towards the chest. Hands behind the thighs. You can rock yourself up to your seat. Organizing yourself into an upright seated posture with the eyes closed. Feel the relaxed uprightness of your spine. Just a moment to breathe and feel right here. There's an energetic echo after everything we do, and it's worth it to pay attention to that. Bring the palms together in prayer at the heart and bow the chin. With gratitude and reverence for our life, we bow to each other. Namaste. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day or evening or whenever you ended up doing this. Thank you for practicing. See you soon.